Valve's third annual Steam Awards will stream earlier today, with PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds taking home the award, a 2018 Game of the Year. The awards show itself clocked in at around 17 minutes unfeatured, no host, or any traditional trappings of an industry event, opting instead for trailer montages and voiceovers to announce nominees and winners. Back in December, Valve asked its community to vote for its top games in various categories, including Game of the Year, Best Developer, VR Game of the Year, Best Environment, and more. It makes sense that PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds won Game of the Year, considering it was in the top-selling games on the marketplace. 2018. The full list of winners are down below. Cloud Imperium United Kingdom Limited and Cloud Imperium United States LLC, the studios behind Star Citizen and Squadron 42, have raised $46 million in funds from a private investment in the Cloud Imperium Group. The funds will primarily be put towards the development and marketing for Squadron 42, but will also be funneled into Star Citizen and various business development initiatives. The investment was led by the father and son duo of Clive and Clive Calder, specifically by Clive Calder's family office and Clive Calder's Snoot Entertainment. Clive Calder is best known for founding the independent music company Zomba, while Clive Calder is a film producer whose company has powered films like Blindspotting and Anomalisa, while the pair notably made a name for themselves in entertainment outside of video game development. Cloud Imperium co-founder Chris Roberts notes in a press release that both Clive and Clive Calder are like-minded partners that he says will help fund the marketing and release of Squadron, before stating, "Attuned to what makes us special." The $46 million investment sees the sale of roughly 10% of the company and was made equally into each side of the Cloud Imperium Group, including both United States and United Kingdom, at a combined post-money valuation of $596 million. Two board members have joined the boards of Cloud Imperium United Kingdom Limited and Cloud Imperium United States LLC as well, with an Offner on behalf of the investors and Eli Klein as an advisor to the company. Chairman and CEO of Cloud Imperium Games, Chris Roberts, retains full control of the board and group. This investment helps secure our independence. We may not have the resources that an Activision or have to launch one of their tentpole games, but we now control our own destiny in marketing Squadron 42, said Roberts in a press release. Beyond this investment gives Cloud Imperium the ability to take the long view when needed, pursue a business opportunity that we normally could not have. It allows us to grow as a company. Unity has revised its terms of service, TOS, to ensure developers can use any third-party service that integrates into Unity. The change is in response to the engine maker's dispute with SpatialOS creator Improbable, and means the company is no longer in breach of Unity's TOS. Unity said in a blog, "It appears to be good news for devs who rely on SpatialOS to run the online multiplayer side of their projects." Although Unity has still distanced itself from Improbable, explaining it cannot vouch for how their service works with Unity as we have no insight into their technology. Today's change in our TOS means Improbable is no longer in breach by providing US service, and that we are able to reinstate their licenses, said Unity. We know Improbable was in violation even before the December TOS update and misrepresented their affiliation with us. Although SpatialOS is not a supported third-party service, It can continue to be used for development and shipping games. Unity also said it will let developers who do not upgrade their projects stick with the TOS agreement they accepted when they signed up, allowing them to avoid any potentially undesirable changes. The company has also pledged to host any TOS changes on Github to be completely transparent about what changes are happening. And when you make a game with Unity, you own the content and you should have the right to put it wherever you want. Our TOS did not reflect this principle, something that is not in line with who we are, explained the company. Our TOS update on December 5th was an attempt to define what our terms mean for the cloud and an opportunity to make our business model clearer. After listening to developers, we realized how this language came across and how it would impact your ability to choose. Unity is holding an Ask Me Anything session on Reddit at 10 a.m. PST to discuss the changes. But you can find out more right now over on the Unity blog. One thing we never really addressed back when we were making the Bitsquid engine was localization of the tools. We supported localization of Figma in the engine, of course, but the engine tools themselves were only available in English, as both the number of tools and the number of frameworks used for the tools, Winforms
WPF HTML
grew. The localization task became more daunting. When you are writing an engine, you are never short of stuff to do, and there always seemed to be something more pressing than addressing localization. With machinery, we did not want to make the same sharp distinction between tools and games, as we envision lots of use cases where the creative experience is taken all the way to the end user. So it was important to get this right from the start. Localization, in the context of game development, can mean many different things. Localization of strings in the UI is probably what first comes to mind. But language can also be found in dialogue audio files, and text baked into textures. Finally, there can be legal and cultural issues. For example, localization to Germany requires removing blood and gore. Plot or animation changes might also be necessary in the Bitsquid engine. All these things were all handled in the same generalized localization framework. Everything was a resource: string resource, audio resource, texture resource, script resource, and we could localize these resources for different targets. Treating everything the same has the advantage of being conceptually simple, but it also has disadvantages. Data-oriented design tells us to look at the data, and the data, for these different cases, looks completely different. The UI text typically only amounts to a couple of KB for an entire game, whereas the audio dialogue can easily end up in the GB range. Solutions that work well in one case might not work well for the other. For example, we can easily keep the UI text for all the supported languages permanently in memory and provide instant switching between different languages. For dialogue sounds, on the other hand, switching language might require loading and loading megabytes of data, a significantly slower and more complicated procedure. If we force everything in under the same localization abstraction, we might force the UI text localization to become as slow and complicated as the other kinds of localization, even though that is completely unnecessary. So in a machinery, we treat these as separate problems, and do not try to solve them all using the same mechanism. In this article, I will only look at the specific problem of localizing UI text. The machinery uses an immediate mode game approach in UI, where the UI is built in code rather than in a UI editor. The advantages and disadvantages of this could be the topic of a whole another post. What it means, though, is that since all the UE text is in the C code, what we need for localization is a way of localizing strings in C code. We need a function that, given some kick that identifies a string in the UE, returns a translation of that string in the user's currently selected interface language.